Welcome back to part 2 of finding the right head coach for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's talk about it.
Penguins! It's Crosby. Crosby on Kunitz and shots. Penguins win it!
Buckle up, baby. Are you kidding me?
We're a collective.
Welcome to the Penguins Collective Podcast. My name is Louie.
My name is Josh.
And usually we go live after every single Penguins game, but today we're continuing our search for the Pittsburgh Penguins head coach entering in the 2025-2026 season. Last episode, Josh and I went back and forth. We had 2 candidates that we really liked. Josh had Jay Woodcroft, and I had Pat Ferschweiler, and both two different kind of areas. One, we had a guy who not so much succeeded as a head coach, but was there, understood his assignment, but unfortunately got fired before he could complete anything. And then you have Pat Ferschweiler, who's never coached in the NHL besides being an assistant coach, and just won a national championship, right? Kind of like a Herb Brooks situation over there. So now we're going to continue it. Josh is going to give us his, then I'll go mine, and then we're going to talk about a candidate that I think we all know is up on that list that Josh and I both agree on, and then we'll give it to you guys. We want to know what you guys think of who is going to be the next head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins. So Josh, with that being said, what's your next pick? What's your next? We're all ears, Josh. What's your next pick?
So my next candidate is probably my favorite, and it's me tying a whole bunch of loose ends of just theories and all this stuff, trying to tie it all together. Okay, at the trade, I'm going to try and tie it all together for you. Okay, at the trade deadline last year, who was one of the biggest candidates to be traded but didn't?
Rickard
Rakell. Okay. Who is one of the best players on the team right now, even though he hasn't played up to his caliber of play recently?
Josh, are you referring to Erik Karlsson?
I am, absolutely. And what do those two players have in common?
Are they from Sweden?
Absolutely they are. They are both of Swedish descent, 100%. Okay? So, that's that connection there. Then,
there's more.
There's more. Where are we headed next season?
Josh, we're heading to Sweden again.
We're heading to Sweden to play internationally. Our team is going international to play in the home country of Rickard Rakell and Erik Karlsson. So hold on to your hats. Hold on to your hats if they're still on the team. Don't get upset, because this is where the theory comes in.
Okay, Josh.
Dubas wants those guys on the team. How does he keep them on the team? How does he ensure they're happy during this rebuild? He hires a Swedish team head coach, Sam
And who's
Hallam.
that, Josh?
Sam Hallam.
Who is it? Sam Hallam. Love it. That's it.
That's my guy. That's the guy. I should just leave it at that. You go do your own research, because it'll blow you away. 45 years old. Okay.
Ooh,
he's been
okay.
He was just hired as, shouldn't say just hired. He was hired as the team Sweden's head coach in 2022. And
so we saw him at Four Nations.
Bingo. 1,000% you saw him at Four Nations. That is him. Okay. Kind of a good looking dude. Kind of like he'd be all right behind the bench with, Sidney Crosby, Chris Letang, and
it's just a
bunch of those.
It's just a model show.
Yeah,
honestly. It's just look, when the camera pans, they're like, woo! We got some good lookers. Erik Karlsson with the flow. Chris Letang.
This isn't
Sidney
your 1980s
Crosby,
hockey with people missing teeth and black eyes. Like, no. We got models up here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Love it.
But okay, let me just lay some of the accomplishments on there for you. Okay, like I said, hired in 2022 as Team Sweden's head coach. It kind of seems like over there, like when you become the head coach of Team Sweden, like that's your job now. Like that's what you do.
Team Sweden. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So he's currently busy right now. IIHF World
the tourney.
Championships or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
So the last time this went on, the World Championship, bronze.
Oh.
Sam Hallam, head coach.
So
Just saying.
I mean,
Just saying.
just throwing that out there.
Just throwing it out there. And like I understand it's bronze and everyone's like, okay, but it's bronze. But let's be honest, it's like Canada,
US.
USA,
and
then it's everyone else. And then but like Sweden is the one, hey, here we are.
Hey.
Knocking on the doorstep. All held by Sam Hallam.
It's more like the Moneyball situation where it's like there's USA, Canada, and then 50 feet of crap. And then there's the rest of the world in hockey.
But hey, Sweden's at the top of that.
Sweden's right there, right underneath
all
the crap.
All because of Sam Hallam.
Sweden. I like it. All right.
But there's more. There's more.
Oh,
Wait,
there's more. Holy
So
crap.
when he was coaching in the Swedish Hockey League, which I'm assuming is the SHL, I'm going with Swedish Hockey League.
I doubt it, but go ahead.
Yeah. He was a 3-time champion.
Josh, get
Okay.
out of here.
Okay. And 2-time coach of the year. So it's not like this guy can't coach.
Honestly,
okay?
listen, I'm actually really liking this
You're
pick.
being right, and I don't want to sound like a jerk and be like I told you, but Dubas, if you listen to his words, he said he wanted to cast a wide net, and then he threw in
Do you know
international.
how far Sweden is?
Stop it.
That wide
But-
net?
But immediately after he says he's casting a wide net, throws in international. Where does he go to start scouting prospects for the draft? Sweden. And everyone thought it was because of Victor Eklund. Oh, was it? Or was it for Sam Hallam?
Or maybe we're going to trade up to get Eklund, so that way it's a Swedish team. And
100%.
Hallam, right? Is that his last name?
Hallam, yeah.
Hallam. He's like, I know that kid. I've been coaching
Yeah.
that kid. I could,
Yeah.
I could work with him, especially if I Eric Carlson, which is the Sweden god, and then
Yep.
I Ricard Raquel.
Yep.
Josh, you're on to something.
I-
You're on to something here.
The ties keep going. Okay. So
Oh,
you
gosh.
got Dubas, going over there to scout. To scout. Okay. And
This was before Mike Sullivan got fired, but
yeah, that is true. And then we re-signed Philip Hollander. Guess what nationality he is?
That's true.
Swedish.
Right. We did re-sign him. Oh my
Re-signed.
gosh.
We let him go to go
And
play
then
in the SHL, and now he's
And
back.
then, because he knows, we're bringing your coach in.
I'm just
Josh,
saying.
honestly, great
just
work.
Just
No, I actually really like. Is there more? Is there more ties?
Well, the only other thing, there's no more ties, unless if you want to consider this a tie. He's considered an analytical guy.
Oh, yeah. Nope. Josh, you got it. That's Dubas' guy. He loves the analytics. Dubas loves the analytics.
Yes.
And if this guy, oh my gosh. Actually, I'm kind of liking where you're going at.
And just
All
last thing. Okay.
Last thing.
The one thing that I read, which go look it up. There is a Swedish article about him being the Four Nations head coach. You have to, when you click on it, if you have a Mac,
Translate.
You can click the translate button.
Right.
Okay. Super hard to follow because of translation, but from what I got out of it was that a reason why Ricard Raquel wasn't on the initial roster, and that there was not some arguments, but just some disagreements about Ricard Raquel. He wants the young guys. He believes in playing young guys in order to develop them.
Yep. Josh. Hey.
Guys.
That's our coach. That's Dubas' guy. He's 45 years old, which means, guess what? He's young. He's going to be here for a long time. He understands development. He is Swedish, so he loves his Swedish guys. We just signed Holland. Josh, what a pick.
I'm just saying.
What a pick. No, I honestly do. Forget mine. I'm going to still say it, but man, that's a great pick.
Yeah. Did a lot of
That's
research
a
on
good
that guy.
one. I clearly
I like him.
I
I like him.
Yeah. What's his name again?
Sam Hallam.
Sam Hallam, head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
And he speaks English. He believes
I hope.
Well,
in
that Swedish article, he said that hockey is an English sport. And if you cannot coach in English, you will not be able to coach the best players in the world.
He was talking about Sidney Crosby because he knew he was coming over. Josh, that's another tie.
Yeah.
Wow, I actually do like this. Sam Hallam. The name sounds good.
Yeah.
You know?
Doesn't sound
Just one of
Swedish.
those names. No. It sounds, Josh, it sounds Pittsburgh.
Sounds American.
Sounds Pittsburgh. Honestly, listen, Josh, we've been on this whole Mitch Marner thing for months now, okay?
Yeah.
Imagine that happens, and then we were the ones to predict Sam Hallam, because, Josh, I'll tell you, all the lists that I've looked up, Sam Hallam's not on them.
No, I know. I went out on a limb on this one.
So Sam Hallam, if he becomes a head coach, that's all you.
I would like my flowers if that happens.
Yeah.
I would like more than flowers.
First,
I would like
yeah.
Pittsburgh to fully acknowledge our existence.
First of all, we've been calling a lot of things accurately. And once again, we are not analytics people. We are not journalists. We are not anything. We are just two fans. And we watch hockey, and this is what we think. So keep that in mind. Yeah, but before you yell at us, okay? Sam Hallam, Mitch Marner. Look out! Philip, well, I mean, yeah. It's not really quite Mitch Marner level, but yeah.
I'm just saying. Get all the Swedes you can.
Yeah. Just bring them all in. It's like Sidney Crosby, Gino, and Letang surrounded by Swedish people. Just because we wanted to get Sam Hallam.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
So
that's
good. Now you
pick.
gotta
I really
you
do.
gotta follow that up. Yeah.
Josh, I don't think I can, but I'll try. Okay. This is so some would say let's bring it back to reality, okay? Because Sam Hallam, great pick. No, hold on. I agree with you. This is a great pick. But others would say, hey, no way is Sam Hallam going to become the head coach. You got to look at what everyone else is saying. This is a guy that The Athletic is saying that we're looking at. This is a guy that is actually rumored to be interviewing for the Penguins' head coaching spot. And this guy's name is Drew Bannister. All right? Very, just kind of not great name. I mean, compared to Sam Hallam. All right? This guy, it's Drew Bannister, okay? Not Drew Barrymore. This is Drew Bannister. He was the head coach of the St. Louis Blues from December of 2023. Okay? So, are you catching along?
Yeah.
And then got fired November 2024. Okay? So, the end of one season and the beginning of the next.
That's not a full calendar year.
Very good, Josh. That is not a full calendar year. So, similar to our last episode, when you were picking Jay Woodcroft and kind of not fully there, similar guy. Similar guy here, but he had a very good interim record in May of 2024, 30, 19, and 5. Okay, he was the head coach of the Thunderbirds, which is the Blues AHL, and he had a 93, 58, and 19 record. Okay, he led the Greyhounds. Well, that was when he got hired up in December, so right before December.
Okay.
Of 2023. Okay. So he was doing really good in the AHL. And then in the OHL, he had a 136, 50, 13, and 5 record over 3 seasons. So that was before the Thunderbirds. So he had a good record, okay? Some would say he had a great record with the younger guys, okay? AHL, OHL, young guys, he did really well. When it came to the NHL, he had a good interim record, but when he was head coach, obviously the Blues were not doing what they needed to do, and they made the tough decision to rip the Band-Aid off, clearly. So, his awards, he's won the CHL and OHL Coach of the Year awards in 2018. He's played in Tampa Bay, but Josh, I mean, this is one of the guys that is a throw-in, all right? I don't know if this is a good pick for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I like him. I brought him up because he's rumored to be in this list. He is a guy that people have connected to Kyle Dubas. But I don't know after hearing Sam Hallam's ties, Josh. I'm not even sold anymore. Get him off. I get it. I get why people are connecting him. He's a head coach who had a great young guy record and just couldn't make it, similar to Woodcroft. But you know, it is tough. I think it's going to be a hard transition for him, because if he can't coach the St. Louis Blues, he's not going to be able to coach Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So he kind of fits me, as you mentioned it in the last episode, as someone who just rides the wave of this quote-unquote retooling, so that way when time comes and the Penguins are actually good, they boot him and they bring in a new guy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he is that guy who rides the wave.
There is a connection with Kyle Dubas and Drew Bannister, because I remember reading, because you sent me that Athletic article. So Drew Bannister played for the Sioux Greyhounds back in the early 90s. So maybe Dubas, calls in that connection. Not that he was there, but obviously
he has a strong connection to the Greyhounds. So it would make sense that he's always there and, always has a connection. So, I mean, it could be a possibility. That is a possible tie for Dubas and Bannister. But, like I said, this is very much of not a throwaway, but it's a very Woodcroft coach, where this is a guy who's coming in, understands his assignment by Dubas. So it's just like, hey, you're here just to ride the wave, and that's it. You're not here to try to be competitive. That you're not here to try to win. You're here just to grow these young guns to make them to a competitive level, but that's pretty much it. Because that's apparently the argument from Elliot Friedman, or not Elliot Friedman, who was it? Was it Elliot Friedman who said that there was a butting of heads between Kyle Dubas, who wanted to rebuild and to not become competitive, and Mike Sullivan, who wanted to win now and was frustrated that he wasn't getting the best team on the ice as possible, which is why they...
Yeah, I think Spit and Chicklets also alluded to that as well. If it was Elliot Friedman that you're referring to, I do know that it was also like Ryan Whitney.
So that may be the case as well. But all I'm saying is maybe there's a reason why Dubas wants a guy like Bannister to just come in and just, hey, here's your responsibility. Don't argue with me. You're not at a Sullivan level to demand anything. Just do your job. So, with that being said, there is also an alternative where you bring in a guy who is Sullivan level, okay? This is Sullivan level of head coach, and this is a guy that me and Josh both agree on. He's on everyone's list, and this is our front runner, okay? This is our front. This is the guy that we believe could be the next head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And this isn't just speculation. This is genuine belief in reading the signs on the wall Josh, who is that guy? Who are we rooting for? And who are we looking at?
Yeah, Louie's right. We had this guy on our list. We said if we're going to do a candidates list, we think we should come at like 3 guys each, and we'll talk about them. And Louie said, "Yeah, I got my 3." I said, "I got my 3. Do you want to know it beforehand?" And he said, "Yeah, let's see our list beforehand." And number 1 on both of our lists, which is why our episode we have 2 each, was Rick Tocchet, formerly most recently the Vancouver Canucks.
Sorry for the interruption. Just want to announce Rick Tocchet did get hired by the Philadelphia Flyers on May 14th. This was recorded a couple days prior, so we didn't know this was going to happen. Hopefully one of our suggestions get picked, but all this is irrelevant going forward. But enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one. Yeah. I mean, his resume, we all know it, right? He helped the Penguins win in 16 and 17. He was that guy who
he won it as a player in 92.
He won it as a player. He played. No, he didn't play with Sidney Crosby. That was Bill Guerin. Excuse me, I'm confusing the two. But his connection with the Pittsburgh Penguins is very strong. And if you're looking for a guy long-term, which I think we both going to agree that's what we would prefer for a head coach, that's Rick Tocchet. He's going to be the guy we need for Pittsburgh. He's the guy who could kind of bring that defensive edge, that physical edge to the team that has been missing for the last couple of years. He knows how to work with Sid. He knows how to work with Gino. He knows how to work with Tanger. So those guys are going to respect and play a little bit harder for a guy like Rick Tocchet to come in, say, "Hey, boys, you know who I am? Let's go. Let's do this thing." Now,
and that's going to be huge too, because like one thing that I feel like, transcends all sports, okay, is that if you can get your veterans to buy into the new coach's philosophy, all the new players, all the young players, everyone's going to follow suit, because those veterans, they understand it. So now it's like, okay, not only do I respect the coach because of what he's saying, but now it has a little bit more weight, a little more gravitas,
right?
Because now the veterans, the captains, they are buying in from the jump as well. So yeah, I fully agree with that as well.
Yeah, Rick Tocchet is that guy. He pulled the Phil Kessel out of Phil Kessel to help us win that cup. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of coach I think is perfect for this Pittsburgh Penguins. He had a younger team in Vancouver. Obviously, they fell short a lot of the time, but I don't think that was Rick Tocchet's fault. I think it's Jim Rutherford. He has a very interesting way of dealing with things, and for him to say that he will not be returning, Rick Tocchet, I think that's easy for the Penguins to say, yeah, that's our guy. That is our guy. Now, Flyers believe that their connection with Tocchet is bigger than the Penguins, so I'm a little nervous, all right?
Yeah.
I'm a little scared on how Metropolitan Division's going to shake up, say, if Rick Tocchet goes to the Flyers. Because then we have Sullivan on the Rangers, Tocchet on the Flyers, and then you just have everyone else fighting in everywhere else. So don't like that.
Islanders have Waugh. The Devils have a good coach. Hurricanes got Brindamore.
Metropolitan's going to be very competitive in the next couple of years.
I think Carolina's in the Atlantic.
No. Yeah. No, they're in a Metropolitan.
Do we have DC? We have Washington.
We have Washington. Josh, mid-podcast check. Hold on.
If they're in the Metro, they need to realign. How are they not?
No, you're right. We're right. They are in the Metropolitan. Why did we second guess ourselves?
Because it just logistically, it makes more sense for them to be in the Atlantic.
So really quick, they have the Flyers, Penguins, Islanders, Rangers, Blue Jackets, Devils, Hurricanes, and Capitals. That is a Metropolitan Division.
Jeez, those coaches in that division is gross.
Dangerous.
Like literally the two that aren't up to caliber, like up to snuff with the rest of them, is Columbus, which whoever that coach is, and the Penguins.
Well, I will say the Columbus Blue Jackets had a better record this season by a long shot.
For sure. But I'm just saying,
They just missed the playoffs.
Would you put their coach? What I'm saying is, if Tocchet goes to the Flyers, would you put their coach in that category of Sullivan? Yeah,
No,
that's what I'm saying.
But
I'm not
sorry.
knocking
I thought you
the.
just meant the
I'm
team.
just talking coach itself. Coach.
Yeah,
itself.
I thought you just meant the team. No, listen. It would suck if Tocchet goes to the Flyers, but I don't think that's the case. I think Tocchet to the Penguins makes a lot more sense because here's my main thinking, and a lot of people are going to disagree with this. It's Sid's last couple years. And I'm not saying you change the franchise to accommodate him in any way, even though he does deserve it. Just look at the media coverage he's getting in Stockholm right now. You know, it's hilarious. They were interviewing him, and the Slovenian team or whatever.
Yeah, they couldn't get through the hall.
They couldn't get through. They were waiting, and they're laughing because they know it's like, well, it's Sid. Like, what are we going to do? You know? Like, they're not mad. They're just like, it's Sidney Crosby. Sometimes there are players that are bigger than the franchise, and Sidney Crosby's that guy, okay? Nathan McKinnon didn't get this treatment. No one else is getting this treatment. It's Sidney Crosby because it's Sidney Crosby. So with that being said, you get a coach that Sidney Crosby likes, and that is Rick Tocchet. That is a guy to help. Hey, you're going to be our transition guy from end of career for Sid to new career of McGroarty and Koivunen. These are the guys, and Mitch Marner, as we go to become a competitive hockey team. Now, we're all going to disagree. This is where me and Josh disagree with the rest of the world. We believe that we are going to be competitive now. We are going to be. This is the off season to show everyone that the Pittsburgh Penguins are trying to win a Stanley Cup. You all disagree. You all think we're going to tank for McKenna. You all think that we're going to either just rebuild and it's going to be a slow process. Josh and I disagree with all of you. We think this is a year where we're going to get a new coach and we're going to be competitive again. And it's going to start with our head coach. Who better to introduce hard hockey, the Pittsburgh Penguins you remember? No other than Rick Tocchet coming in going, hey, give him that elbow. Hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be physical. We're going to play it. We're going to outplay them. We're going to outskill them. That is the guy who you want to bring in for Crosby's last couple years. That is Rick Tocchet. That is the guy you want. So if I'm Kyle Dubas, Tocchet is my first and only call to become the next head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Josh, thoughts?
Yeah, no, I fully agree. Absolutely agree with that. I don't know. It's so hard because when you're coming from a coach like Mike Sullivan, you want a guy like Mike Sullivan. And I think Rick Tocchet does that in a way, but yet still is different from Mike Sullivan. Does that make sense? The sentence in my head sounded good, but
you want
as I was
someone
saying
similar
it, I was like, wait.
to Mike Sullivan, but you want someone with a new approach.
Yes,
and I think Rick Tocchet is that guy.
Absolutely, fully agree. And then obviously you can start, talking about the connections, that he has in the league, and maybe some of those players are now new members of the Penguins. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Like you said, I think it is also a stage one of the retool. I think it's going to be this year and next year. I think this year is the initial retool where you show signs of life, where you show signs of improvement, you show signs of development. So because that 2026 free agency class is stupid. You got, if everyone hits the market, okay, obviously not everyone is going to hit the market, but you got the likes of Connor McDavid.
Okay.
You know, you got Bedard as a restricted free agent. I mean, there are names that are just absolutely disgusting that if they hit the market, and let's just say the Penguins show improvement and that they show, growth. Now another big time player.
Bedard to Penguins.
2026. Hey, we got 30 picks. We ain't using them. We got 30 draft picks. We're not using them. Let's go get Bedard. No, but in all seriousness, like, it legitimately, like, I get it. Everyone wants to tank and do a slow rebuild. And if we're going to do a slow rebuild, I'd rather do a slow rebuild with a good coach than someone who's just going to be the fall guy. Yeah. I'd rather do a rebuild with a Rick Tocchet who's going to still demand hard work every game. Game in, game out. He's going to have the guys ready to the point where it's like, I know they're not tanking, but I understand they're not good, which has literally been the last 3 years. I know they're not good, but they're not tanking. And because we talked about it all season.
Yeah.
If 87 is on this team, there is no such thing as a tank, because that man is going to win us at least 10 games by himself. By himself.
If he's the only guy working on the ice. He's going to win us at least
100%. Games. And because, like, you look at the likes of, San Jose, Chicago, Nashville, Anaheim, the teams who always finish in the top, but the bottom 5, they don't have anyone that they can just put the team on the back. Chicago thought they had it in Bedard. They don't. Okay.
Well, Bedard is too young to have it on his back. Bedard is too young to be like,
okay.
No, listen. He is not at the caliber to be like, hey, can you just carry us until we get more guys? He's not equipped to do that. At least Crosby is like, listen, I've been around the block. I could carry this team. Now, that's great. But Bedard is too young to expect that of him. And you can tell he's burnt out. He is burnt out. He's playing inline hockey right now just so he could get some frustration out. Do you know that?
100%. And he's also taking a lot of heat for that because guess who's over there at the World Championships learning a thing or two from Crosby. Yeah.
Everyone's
so it's not looking good. Not looking good for Bedard. But also, if you want to start looking into the future, Celebrini has got a little brother. He's got a little brother. Lighting it up right now.
He's going to San
Jose. Right now, lighting it up. 16 years old. Just saying. A couple more years. Fall to Pittsburgh.
Tank? Yeah.
Fall for Celebrini's brother.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you on one thing. I am sick and tired of hearing one thing. We're going to play well during this. No. It's either got to be one thing or the other. So don't give me hard work and excellence when we're failing. It's either we fail or we're good, and we're going to compete.
But at the end of the day, like, we still have extremely high talent level players on this team.
My
there's still going
is play better.
I get it. I fully agree with you. I understand where you're coming from. But what I'm saying is, if this is truly a rebuild, this is I'm just saying you put the rebuild helmet on. Okay, fine. Sure. Rebuild, not tank. That's all I'm saying. Because a tank is losing on purpose, essentially. And we don't we have too much talent to do that. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just saying in the bubble of rebuild, we will not be good enough for McKenna. So that is why I fully think that Dubas knows that and says, okay, so let's just keep retooling every year. And I get it. Some people hate that. But at the end of the day, as long as Crosby, Malkin and Letang, Carlson, Raquel are on this team, they're going to win us enough games where we will never see that first overall pick. you're just going to have to just deal with it. And I hate it.
No, I know. I agree with that statement. I agree with you. All I'm saying is, if we're going to do this retool or whatever, don't give me Rick Tocchet. You know, like, because that's not fair to Rick Tocchet.
The rebuild. Yeah. If we're doing the retool, give me Rick Tocchet, 100%.
Oh yeah. So I thought we were on the same page that it's a retool. Like we're going to show.
Yes.
We're going to show signs of life. We're going to, if we make the playoffs, good. That's the goal next season. Not to win a Stanley Cup, because I don't think we're there yet. But if we make the playoffs, that's a success. And then the next year, I expect us to be a Stanley Cup contender.
Yeah.
Okay? The following year after.
I actually think a little bit differently. I think Dubas truly means it, that he says he doesn't want to just get into the playoffs, because I think he still wants the chance at the lottery. So I think he wants us to he's okay with us just missing the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know he's okay with
my
that,
drift?
but this is my expectation. So, my
fair.
expectations is like if we make the playoffs, great, that's a success. Cool. I don't even care if it's the last wild card spot. As long as we make it, I'm happy with it. Then for the second season after that, hey, we have all the right positions. We have all the right tools. Let's go make a push. That's what our take on, I'm assuming, is the podcast approach. I know everyone else has a different take. I know a lot of people want to tank. Whatever. This offseason is important. And it all starts with the head coach. And that's what this 2 episodes is about. Who could possibly take the reins? I mentioned that it's a ship. Who can possibly take the reins of this ship and steer it in the right direction where the Stanley Cup is awaiting for us? How can we get there? It all starts with the head coach. We believe it could be Rick Tocchet or Sam Hallam or Pat Ferschweiler or Jay Woodcroft or Drew Bannister. These are our guys that we like. But who do you think the Pittsburgh Penguins should go after? Leave the comments below this video. If you're listening on audio, tweet at us or wherever your favorite social media is. Make sure you tag us and you give us your idea who the Penguins should go after and the head coach this offseason. You could follow us on all major social media platforms at Pens Collective. You could join our Discord. You can find all our videos if you click the link in our bio on all major social media platforms. So make sure you guys do that. It's going to be an interesting offseason. Stay tuned with us as we cover all things. We're going to have a prospect video. We're going to talk about a draft video. We got a lot of content coming out for you guys this offseason, mainly because the Penguins can't do anything right now. So we're going to have to do a lot more work than the Penguins did. So we're going to have to create some content for you guys because we're hoping this offseason is going to be good, okay? Can't wait for the Mitch Marner video. Can't wait for the Rick Tocchet video. We're definitely going to say it was our idea, unless it was if it was Sam Hallam. We're going to literally rub that in everyone's faces. Especially Josh.
Even if he loses every game. Even if he loses every game.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, that'll do it for this episode. We'll see you in the next one. Josh, as always,
let's go Pens!
It's Crosby on Trinity shots. Penguins win it!
Buckle up, baby. Are you kidding me?
We're a collective.